Alright, we're getting kicked off on trying to rebuild my N844 out of my 1920. One of the first things we're doing is I'm getting the carrier set up to put on the crankshaft, getting the assembly lube on it. The important thing here on the rear carrier are these side irons that decide your thrust clearance on your crankshaft. So the bottom half gets a thrust washer, whatever, side iron on each side of the carrier, and then your top half gets only one single one. And they actually, if you look in the book, so the book shows it here, that the carriers on the bottom side go on each side, and then there's one that goes on the top side, and they face to the outside. And my understanding is the numbers have to go out, so you can kind of see the number on the carrier, and we'll put the numbers on the outside. So. All right, another very important thing is that the side irons, the thrust washers, actually have grooves in them, and you need to make sure that the grooves face the crankshaft. They're not turned on the, get the grooves on the right side. That way it allows proper oil flow, and you can lubricate the thrust washers. All right, so one thing that about these carriers is they're not all the same size. So this one here, it's probably off the screen. So this is 5.7645. This one 5.7275. And I know I'm not being exact, or I should probably use a micrometer maybe, but that one's 5.7475. So this is the front carrier. That's the smallest. This is the second to the rear, 5.7640. And what was this one again? 5.7470. So we got the rear, the front, and the one in the middle. Alright, one thing I read said that the carrier holders here are supposed to be installed with the numbers facing the back, but I don't think that's true, because if you look, it's hard to get it to show up. There's a chamfer on one side of the carrier, and that has to go forward to get it through all the journals or the carriers in the block. They got all these torqued, 17 millimeter socket. They torqued the 36 to 40 foot-pounds. They got everything torqued right. Should be good to go. Check our end gap on our piston rings. So end gap is 8 thousandths to 14 thousandths with a maximum, I guess, of 39 thousandths. So same thing on the second, and then the oil ring. So should be good to go. We took and put our spring down in the bottom of the piston. It says to put it at the bottom of the travel. I guess that's pretty close. And when I done that, I used my feeler gauges, and 16 thousandths is too tight, and 16 thousandths is too tight, and they're just about right. Maybe a little tight. 14 thousandths fits really good. So I think we're good to go on the top ring.
Got it too.
Well, that could even be my micrometer, right?
Hell, it could be this one for that matter.
Yeah.
I drag these out so infrequently anymore, honestly. 45, 6.
Yeah. Close enough. When you got a hot dog down the hallway clearances.
See it. Just throw it in that general direction.
Yeah. 8 thousandths. All right, here we go. We got the camshaft in. We've got the crank in now, turns nice and neat. Nice and neat. Got our bolts here, our carrier bolts torqued. These torqued to 40 foot-pounds. Seems like everything's 40 foot-pounds in this, but getting the crankshaft in this is kind of a bear. So you got to be very careful. The carriers are each different size. So you got to go the small one, second small one, third small one to make it all fit. Got everything in there. Next thing, we'll go ahead and probably put our oil pump on, get our oil pump in, put our gears on the front here, and we probably need to start putting rock. All right, we're moving on. We got our rings on our pistons. Got them all in the right groove, got everything ready. We got our ring compressor here. Got all our rings. We checked the ring gap. Ring gap looked pretty good on them. You know, it's all the clearances are really wide open, and so everything looked good. And we're getting ready to put the pistons in next. Everything torqued down. We got all our pistons in. Things torqued down.
Verified and satisfied. What about those two?
Those two, we're going to have to come back and do them later, I guess.
Thank you.
All right, we got it to this point. We got the head on. Close her down. Done for tonight. We got, I don't know, it's like the thing's 200 pounds of boost or something. It's 16 head bolts or 14 or something. 18?
18.
18. I guess 23 to 1 compression, you need another bolt or two. Right, back at it Sunday morning. Got a lot of it assembled last night. And just to kind of give a recap, got all our head bolts torqued. They're 17 millimeter socket head. They torqued 65 to 69 foot-pounds. Our rod bolts, 14 millimeter socket. They torqued to 36 to 40. Got that all in. Funny thing that we sit here with the trying to get this thing in time, you have to line up your marks here and line up your marks here. And we kept on thinking that for every 4 rotations, these would come back in line. But this gear is like 66 teeth and this one's 33. So it's 2 to 1. But this gear is like something odd, 62 or 60 or something. So who knows how many revolutions this will make before the lines ever come back into line. So we kept on rotating it, trying to wait for it to come back into time, and it never would. So the more we read, we realized, hey, we got it in time. It's no problem. All right, putting the rocker arm assembly on, and in my rebuild kit, there were 2 big O-rings. Sitting here thinking, it's like, okay, one's a little longer, one's a little shorter. 50-50 chance of getting them right. No, I got them wrong. So the shorter one actually goes on the valve cover, and the longer one goes on this. All right, we got a little more done. So we got our, we put our glow plugs in, torqued them down, tightened them down. We got our rocker box. We got it installed. 14 millimeter nuts on these, and you torque these 25 to 29 foot-pounds. Getting the rocker arms, getting the ball in the cup of the push rod is a little bit of a pain. I'd say it'd be better if you had the engine sitting level. Be a little easier, and you just got to go slow and be patient and get those all put in right. I guess there's maybe a little bit easier way to do that, but all right, assembly was going really well until the one thing it says right here, there's a little dowel hole in the end of the oil pump that aligns with this dowel pin in the front cover. So I don't know if the stack is too thick. I don't know if it's not lining up right. I can't tell what's going on, but I'm having trouble getting that to line up and everything cinched down. I tried to put the bolts in it, and you can tell it's wobbling. I definitely don't want to crack my front cover. I think these covers are hard to come by. All right, it's about 12 o'clock. It's just time to shut it down and go back home. Got a good bit done, but I'm really kind of stalled out on the front cover there. I'm not sure what I need to do. Come back and do it next weekend. All right, good morning. Maybe we're gonna, the title on this will be 1920 rebuild, mistakes were made. So I forgot the plate, right? Told you guys about that. Cam had to come out, oil pump had to come out, everything had to come out. Well, cleaning up the plate, I thought that the gasket went on this side, right? So the problem is the gasket's back behind the oil pump. And then I got to looking at it and like, boy, the hydraulic pump or the power steering pump really needs a gasket on that side. The one side on the timing chain cover has a O-ring. So, I've got this all backwards. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to cut the gasket there and there. And then, put the plate back on. Everything will seal up good. I think that'll work. It's not ideal, but it's better than having to take everything back apart again. All right, I got this fixed. I just took and put the gasket against the timing chain cover and trimmed it off against this edge here and here. And that way everything's good and sealed up. I don't have a loose piece up under the oil pump where it can get loose and get into oil passage or something like that. And then not ideal, but what I'll do is I'll take and use some form of gasket there and get that sealed up there. So, not the best fix, and I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't leak like a sifter or something, but we'll get it back together and run it. All right, a quick update on where I am. So I got the pumps put on, I got the cover put on, got the keyway put back in and the balancer on. I got it on so I can rotate it and get it at top dead center. I need to get it at top dead center so I can put the dynamic balancer on the back there. It's supposed to be at top dead center with the bob weights hanging straight down. Put a little tape over everything. Got my injection pump on. Got the back cover on. The back cover says to torque to like 35 to 40 foot-pounds, but gosh, they sure don't. It just kind of scared me, so I just snugged those up and made them tight, and I think I'm going to be good to go there. All right, just a little update. So finished lashing all of my valves. I would rotate the engine, watch for one valve to go down and start to come back up, and then I would lash the other one. Didn't have a really good way of marking them, so what it is, I put a little dollop of assembly lube on them as I went along. Also under here I got my dynamic balancer, hard to see. Got the dynamic balancer on, and the book is kind of confusing. It says that the bob weights are supposed to go down, but you're like, okay, which way is the engine down? What if I've got it turned upside down? So bob weights, engine on the stand like it is now, and then the bob weights go towards the ground. All right, I think we're to a stopping point here at the shop. I've got pretty much everything assembled that I can assemble. Still need to torque some stuff down. I got the oil pan on. I got my oil lines, everything put in. Need to put a little tape on some inlets and outlets, make sure nothing gets, no dirt or anything gets in it. Got to put an oil filter on it. Now comes the fun of getting it back in the tractor. So I think I'm going to hang it from the cherry picker and try to rig it into the tractor, put my clutch on, try to get it bolted up to the tractor. And well, I'm wiped out. I got it loaded. I got the cherry picker loaded. Let's go to the cabin.